Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back again at the vendors table. Today, I'm joined by the wonderful Chris from Zeal Photography.
Hi.
And the amazing Deji Rachel.
Thank you.
So yeah, a little intro start. Chris, what do you do and why weddings?
Well, firstly, I'd like to thank Midday for inviting me onto the podcast. So my name's Chris. I guess I'm the photographer for Zeal Photography, which is predominantly a wedding photography company. And yeah,
That's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, hi guys. My name is Deji Rachel. I'm a full-time makeup artist, and I love doing weddings. I love being part of people's special day. I love creating memories with my brides. So yeah.
Dope. Okay, go straight into wedding trivia. So 5 questions. The only rule is you gotta wait until I've finished asking the question for your answer, the shouted answer. Okay. Who is in charge of planning the stag do?
Best man.
One to Deji Rach. Hey, Chris.
Okay, no problem. Okay. No problem.
You're ready now.
Yeah.
You're warm. Okay. Who traditionally walks the bride down the aisle?
Dad.
You
You need to be
I
fast.
saw it
You need to be
loaded. You gotta be
fast.
quick.
No problem.
2-0. We've got 3 more questions. You
Okay,
gotta get
cool,
all
cool,
3
cool,
now. Okay. According to an old English rhyme, a bride should wear something old, something new, something borrowed, something.
He didn't even finish. He didn't even finish.
Didn't finish the question. I'm gonna change the question because he shouted out the answer. Who is the last to walk down the aisle before the bride?
Maid of honor.
Correct. 3-0. Okay. What flower is usually associated with a proposal?
Rose.
Chris.
I actually can't think that fast, you know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is like. It's a mind fog.
4-0. Okay. This one, at least you'll have a chance to get an answer in. So you're both going to answer this one.
Okay.
According to Hitched, which is a wedding website, what is the average cost of a wedding in the UK? Closest answer wins.
£45,000.
45k?
35.
35. The answer is 17,300.
Really?
17,000? Average.
Really?
Apparently.
Gosh.
According to Hitched.
Wow.
According to Hitched.
Then again, like different weddings do cost
True,
differently.
you get a
Very
range
Like
of
I've seen
weddings.
like weddings that, just in the pub,
Yeah,
the
literally.
spare room
That's
in the
actually
pub
very true.
for reception.
Literally. People just get around and get
Interesting.
Save
fish and
thousands
chips.
of pounds. Yeah.
A whole load of money. And
But
they're
would you
still just as
also
married.
think about, because of the nature of Hitched, like the people that would even use Hitch as well.
True.
Yeah, so
True. But that's why I put a caveat in there according to Hitched.
yeah.
But that means Chris got 1, so it's not a whitewash.
Yeah.
4-1.
Well done.
Deji Rach smashed it again. But yeah, that's even a nice segue into the next topic of costs, vendor costs. So, as we know, a wedding is not the most cost-effective thing, let's say. But what would be your tips of like how to be most cost-effective when it comes to a wedding?
You know, okay.
I would say list and prioritize what is important. And I personally think the 2 things that should be important is the photography and the videography.
So you're putting those as the top 2 of the
That's
day,
the only thing you're going to walk away with. Apart from the hair if you did a wig. But that's the only thing you're going to walk away with. That's the only thing that's going to last forever. And you're going to show your kids. And you're going to show your grandkids. And do you know what I mean? So
I hear that.
That's my opinion. But prioritize what's most important. Figure out how much you want to spend on those things. And then figure out somebody that suits the style and the budget. If no one fits your budget, contemplate negotiating one of the other things that are more further down the list. to maybe add to your photography or videography. That's what I would do personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I also agree with Deji, because it seems as though when I always like speak to clients, potential clients, it seems as though that photography, videography is like one of the first things that they'll try to negotiate. When it comes to bouquet, flowers, people don't really negotiate. It's like they hear this, like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They go for it. Venue, negotiate venue. Come on, let's be serious. It's like these little things that, not little things, but these things aren't they don't tend to negotiate. But when it comes to photography, videography, it's like, that is when they say, when a photographer's asking for £2,000, it's like, hey, that's too much. Like, our budget is 1.5. And like Deji was saying, it's that photography, videography is like one of the most important parts of a wedding day. That's why we as photographers call them investments, because photography literally appreciates in value over time. And that's how I see photography as well. When you take a photo, and the thing is, even with me, I prioritize, for example, obviously the bride and groom, but recently I've been prioritizing taking photos of the elderly.
Okay.
Because they don't, I mean, truly, they don't have as many years left. So it's like those photos are the most important part, because unfortunately, when it gets to a time where someone, a family member, a loved one passes away, the things that you'll naturally go towards are the photos.
Yeah, the memories,
especially wedding photos, because those tend to be like the best photos that you have of that particular person. That's why the value of the photo has now appreciated, because it's now like, this photo is of them on a happy day, in a happy moment. Even with couples themselves, the value of the photos appreciate as well, because the wedding day is the happiest moment of the marriage in a lot of circumstances. So when you're going through tough times in the marriage, it's like, it's nice to look back at that happiest moment of the wedding, and the way that the thing that even ignites your memories are photos, are videos. And again, the photos have now appreciated in value. So you see that £2,000 that you're probably unwilling to spend, but have spent it anyway. It's like, that's actually nothing, considering it's 10 years down the line. We're still looking at, it's now 10-year anniversary. We're still reposting the photo of 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So like Deji was saying again, it's like, definitely put an order to what's important. Yeah. Personally, photography, videography should be high up on the list, because even again, for example, venue, you're spending tens of thousands on a venue that you don't own. Yeah. Tens of thousands on a venue that you don't even have exclusively. You have other people just walking around on your wedding day. Tens of thousands you're spending on that. Bouquet, flowers, you're paying. I'm planning my own wedding. Or if you see the price of flowers,
has it shocked you?
Something that will die the next day. But you won't negotiate that. But you'll negotiate photography that will last for a lifetime. It doesn't really make sense to me. So it's like, those things should be negotiated, or those things you should try and see what's within your budget in that area. But don't try and like reduce the price of photography or the value of photography or videography, because you'll end up being disappointed in the long run.
It's so funny you said that about the elderly, because my grandmother, I have like one grandparent left, it's my grandmother, and she has bad problems with her mobility. So when it comes to me getting married, she won't be there. She's in Nigeria, right? I would pay any money just to have a photo that I can look back at her. I can look back with me and her on my wedding day. I would pay any money just to get her to the UK. Do you know what I mean? But the issue is not money, it's just her mobility. She literally cannot get on a plane. Do you know what I mean? So it's amazing that you say that. It's so true.
I didn't even consider that.
It's so true. Wow.
I haven't thought about it. It's a different thought process.
I like that.
But yeah, you said, so as you said, you're planning your own wedding. Recently engaged. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you.
What's that been like? What's that been like? Obviously, having been on the vendor side, now planning your own wedding.
What's that been like? I think it's been very calm, I'd say. Yeah. But that's probably because I've got a wedding planner. Okay. So that even segues into like wedding planners as vendors. I feel like back in the day, you can pretty much get away with not having a wedding planner. But I feel like over time, due to like seeing things on social media, just the influences of social media in general. Is like you see things that you like, you see other weddings that you've just come across, and it's that naturally weddings have become more complex in a way, like in terms of choosing the vendors, choosing the venue, things like that. What's feasible in a venue, what's not. So weddings have become a lot more complex, which is why I would always advocate for a wedding planner, which is what I have done as well. It just makes the process of wedding planning so much smoother, because they will obviously, due to experience, they will know what you're missing. They will know like when to make payments or when to consider booking a vendor before they get booked. It's like those little things you don't know. And even on the day of the wedding, it's like you can just, as long as you have a good wedding planner, you can just like rely on them and actually focus on enjoying your wedding day.
Because I feel like a lot of people, because they haven't had the coordination or planner side, they're still stressing on the day about things that really it should be somebody else's
Precisely
to take care of.
Precisely. And
Did you know who you were going to use vendor wise before you got married? Like, because obviously you worked with a lot of vendors. Did you have an idea of, okay, that's the person I'm going to do, that's the person I'm going to do?
Yeah, I think so. I think most definitely I had an idea of the wedding vendors that I'll use, simply because of either working with them or naturally just seeing their work on like Instagram and things like that. So the only things I didn't have like an idea of is like, for example, florists.
Okay.
It's like I've come across a lot of lovely florists, but I don't know who to go to, who does what style, things like that. So like having a wedding planner helped in that regard, like knowing those florists, knowing those the decor vendors and things like that. But yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I'll just circle back to the cost point. Obviously, like you said about social media's become like the place where you'll go and you'll see like this extravagant wedding, or you'll see this feature there, like sparklers or a firework or whatever it is that you see on these weddings, and like people have got Pinterest boards as well. Obviously sometimes it doesn't match the budget. But the thing is with that, some people try and stretch it and go out of their way to some people have get a loan out, each to their own. But I always feel like whatever it is that you're wanting, there is somebody that can give you that in your budget. Maybe not to the same level of extravagance, but there is somebody that can try and get you in your budget. But then obviously some people will still want certain vendors to do certain things. So I know you talked about people like negotiating on price. Do you negotiate on price?
It depends on what stage of the year. So like a little tip for who that book me. If you book like me early, I'm more likely, not even because of availability, but I'm just more likely to like be a bit lenient.
Okay.
But as for example, people are booking me now for weddings for next year. It's that I'm at a point where I have too many weddings, so it's like I can easily say no.
Okay.
If your budget doesn't meet like my lowest package, for example.
Okay.
Also you can work around and talk about, because also like another tip is that I feel like I'm just like giving away stuff, but it's like another tip is that if it's like for example you're planning to have quite a very lovely, maybe extravagant wedding in a venue that's maybe like, I don't know, like a beautiful venue, a venue that not a lot of vendors have even seen, but it's like, wow, it's like a sort of those wow factor venues. You'll see that, I guess photography, videographers more likely to be okay, because it's like, it's now more of a transaction, because obviously you're getting your photos, you're getting your video, but at the same time, I'm getting a certain level of content, because it's like, wow, this is a venue that no one's seen. I want to show this in its entirety in terms of photo or video. So it's like there can be that sort of exchange. But yeah, that's
Do you negotiate?
My prices?
Yeah.
I think it all depends. It all depends if you're asking for like the biggest package, the most most expensive package, but you just don't want to pay that much, then I don't know, I think it depends on the vibe, how you come across. You know, like if I'm honest with you, if I'm honest with you, 95% of the time, no.
Yeah.
Like no,
Yeah, I hear
because
it.
I find especially when it's like makeup artists and things to do with beauty, like if you're not careful, and I've had this before, the potential client or the client can just start taking the mick, thinking that they run the show. So okay, I've got you at this point. I've agreed for you to do this for me. Now a sense of entitlement comes upon, and that's happened before, and it's really scarred me.
Okay.
So now I'm just like, but at the same time, I'm not a monster. Like if I've had a good relationship with a client and she's like, sis, I've had it before. There's like, sis, I cannot afford to pay you for the extra hours now. Can we talk about it? Blah, blah, blah. Or like, this is how much I've got. What can you do?
Yeah.
Then that's different.
I think the approach is important as well.
It's,
like,
it's about the approach, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
Or like, let's say like you're doing the biggest package, you've added on extra hours as well, you've got a trial with me, but you've literally blown your budget, you can't afford the 2 extra hours that you need with me. And that's fine. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I think there's a difference in someone understanding your value, but understanding that it's out of their budget and being like, is there anything you can do, versus actually, I don't think you're worth that much. Let me try and give you less. I'm really good at sussing that out. Yeah.
But if I'm honest with you, a lot of the time, they don't negotiate the price. They don't ask to. Sometimes it's happened before, but like a lot of the time, like, you know, you're saying a lot of the time they'll call you or they have a conversation and see if you can bring it down. A lot of the time, no. But I think my prices are they're like in the middle of
the reflection of value you've heard.
Yeah, like they're in the middle of the scope of prices that I've heard of, if that makes sense.
And also, I feel like everyone in this room, they give the level of value dictated by their price. So it's not, you're not overpriced for the service that you're delivering.
Yeah,
which is important for vendors as well. Like some people will try and, especially when you're starting, and you don't really know how to price yourself in the market. And you price yourself quite low, and you hear what other people are charging. You're like, oh, actually, maybe try and jump up a bit. But you jump up too quick, and then
that's the thing.
Yeah. Wedding pet peeve. What's a pet peeve for you?
Wedding pet peeve. I think you might have to go first because.
Wedding pet peeve. That's so hard. What's yours?
What's mine?
Yeah.
I've got one. So there are different types of MCs. You've got your comedic MCs. You've got your just like your smooth talker MCs. You've got your MCs that their job is just to make sure timeline's delivered and they're actually not the focal point of the day. So I think I probably fit into the I'm just there to make sure the day is smooth. I'm not the focal point of the day. I'll give you some I'll keep the energy good and like throw in a couple jokes in there, keep it light-hearted, but I'll work with what's going on in the room. I'm not gonna give you like a 20-minute comedy skit because I'm not a comedian. My pet peeve is when couples want a certain look or type of wedding that I'm not able to provide, but they book me and want me to provide it. And it's like, you didn't see me doing the 20-minute comedy skit, so why are you asking me? On my whole Instagram feed, there's no comedy skit. It might be like a one, and it's not even a scripted joke. It's just something that's happened in the moment. And then I want me to do a 20-minute comedy skit. It's like, that means you haven't even done the research. You've just, I don't know how you found me. So that's definitely one. And it's like, even on like photography side, it's like, there's different photographers that are good for different kind of shots.
Yeah.
It's like getting a photographer that works well with natural light and outdoors to come and do like a photo shoot, a wedding in like a dark manner kind of venue. It's like you're not gonna get those type of shots.
I know my wedding pet peeve. Oh God.
Even what you said reminded me of mine as well.
Yeah?
You go first.
My pet peeve is when I get to that prep room and there's not enough space.
That one.
God.
That one, man. We need to talk about
Oh my days.
So as in like the room where they're getting ready?
Yes, there's not enough space, and it's happened before.
Is it?
If you're gonna book Travel Lodge, Premier Inn, ask for an accessible room. It has a lot of space.
True that.
When there's not enough plug sockets, what? There's like where like I come and there's nowhere to put my makeup. And it's in my contracts. You have to make sure there's enough space for the table and my chair and the lights we can maneuver.
Yeah.
But when I get there and there's no space, it's hard, it's tough.
Do you know what? That's like, guys, make sure there's space. That's something that this is something that I've got no idea of because I don't even get there that early. But it makes that much of a difference, yeah?
Yes. And then next thing you know, sometimes I'm looking and I'm like, where's the photographer gonna go? Where's the videographer gonna go? You know, and then they have to take the bride outside the room and the bride's like, oh no, I don't want my husband to see me. I don't want people to see me. And it's like, sis, like they can't even stay in the room. It's tight.
Yeah.
Just add stress at the start of the day.
Yeah,
no?
there's no breathing space. There's no wiggle room. My makeup's falling on the floor. Like, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's yours.
I feel like I've got 2 pet peeves. To even segue off what you said about the space, it's like nowadays, even with my form, I ask where the venue's going to be. And if it's like a multi-location sort of wedding, I always advise, I almost tell them, please book a large room. Like even for example, like I can't like the wedding venue I don't really like to work at is probably like Three Rivers. It's not my favorite at all.
Yeah.
Especially that bridal suite is just terrible.
The lighting's terrible.
It's just so bad.
Yeah. It's
and
really
it
bad.
was one time it's like someone wanted to book me for Three Rivers.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. But let me inform you that the bridal suite is not good at all. We can't work there. Videographer, photographer can't work there. And it's like she even came back to me saying that, oh no, we've been there. It's large. It's like large. It's like, but I'm telling you that I've been there multiple times and it's not something we can work with.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, she ended up booking somewhere else which is bigger. So that's definitely morning bridal prep suite has to be large. It's very, very important. But into like my pet peeve has to be when I get an inquiry for videography. When you're messaging Zeal Photography, and like it happens quite often.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it does.
Damn.
It's like, and even if let's say you're inquiring for photography, and it's like you say, oh, do you do a photography and videography package? Even that, it's like it still doesn't really make sense to me, because the reason why I say that is because and it also highlights that I don't know if I want to work with that particular client, because it's clear that you haven't done your research
on you.
And if you did your research, you'll see that I don't do videography at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't show anywhere on my page.
I'm trying to think on your page. I don't know if I've ever seen a
You see
video.
what I mean? Like, it
if
shows
anything, the most I've seen is a couple of stills put together.
Yeah. Like, I don't do videography at all. So it kind of highlights to me that if you're asking for videography for me, it means that you just want to find someone.
Yes.
You're not really focused on quality.
Wow, yeah.
That's what it tells me. So that's my first pet peeve. Like when clients ask me for videography when I'm on photography page.
Yeah.
My second pet peeve is wedding planners not giving enough time for like couple session.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So like there's been times where I've had like 10 minutes for couple session, just so that
as in that was planned, or
as in sometimes it's planned, as in that's like some 10 minutes.
Planned you 10 minutes.
Yeah. Or sometimes it's like due to issues of maybe things not going according to time. It's like we're left with like 5-10 minutes, which is understandable, but at the same time, it's like it's not as if 5-10. It's not as if we're an hour, 2 hours late. And it's like, okay, we got some 5-10 minutes. It's like 5-10 minutes so that we can be exactly on time. And to me, that's a bit of an issue, because like this is sort of like a word to weddings, like wedding planners, is that you won't be remembered as someone that really took the time. Really, like people will remember the photos, people will remember the video. If they don't get enough of that, it's like that's when the issue lies.
Yeah.
And it's like obviously on the day it's like it's a bit touchy if like the couple are running a bit late, but it'll be all forgiven once they see the photos and video.
Yeah.
But if I get some 5-10 minutes and it's like some few photos here and there, it's like that's when it becomes an issue. And to me, it's just more important for the couple to get the photos, videos that they need for their wedding event than to be exactly on time to the reception, because you won't be remembered for that really. So I think that's a pet peeve for me.
I hear you on that. To be fair, yeah, getting the shots, being like 5 or 10 minutes behind, it's not the end of the world. You can definitely put that back at some point later as well. 5 or 10 minutes off the dance floor is not the worst. It's not.
Exactly.
Nobody's gonna notice that.
It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it for those photos.
Okay, let's do. What advice would you give to couples planning their wedding? I see you're on the planning stages as well now. So
couples planning their wedding. I think what the advice I would give is to, if you want a particular kind of wedding day, that in fact, first of all, establish the kind of wedding day you want. So you can have a wedding day whereby the main focus is the guests. You want as many people there as possible. Yeah. But unfortunately, if you want as many people as there as possible, you have to sort of manage your expectations on the quality of the wedding. Because the more people there are, sort of the lower the quality is. And a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's the actual truth. My favorite wedding this year has been an 80 guest wedding. Because everything was according to time, everything was cool. Guests were just happy. It's like, but when it's like you're pushing 300, 400 guests, it's like, yes, you enjoy that so many people are there. It can be like a massive function, but then you reduce the quality on probably photos, video, and even what even impacts photos and video is the venue as well. Because in this UK, there's no fantastic wedding venue that holds 400 plus people. Even 300 is slightly pushing it. So, and the thing is, not an issue to have that many people, but you need to understand the kind of wedding day that you want. If you want like a nice quality wedding day, then if I'm being very honest with you, 150 is like a nice sweet spot for nice wedding venue, and even the quality of photos that you'll have because of the wedding venue and because of the amount of people. And also it impacts your budget. So you can't expect to have a low budget and expect 300 plus people. And on top of that, expect a quality wedding day. It's not realistic, if I'm honest. So definitely establish the kind of wedding day that you want, whether it be, okay, guests are the main focus. I want as many people there as possible because I've got like a wide social circle, or maybe you want like a nice small wedding guests, like nice small guests number, so you can have like a nice quality sort of niche wedding venue. So definitely focus on the guest numbers and know what kind of wedding day you want. I would say.
Okay, cool. And Deji, if you was gonna give advice to an aspiring makeup artist wanting to do weddings,
I would say don't let anything steal that passion. Do it. First of all, do weddings if you have a passion for weddings, if you have a passion for, love, seeing people happy, making people happy, serving other people. Do it if you have the passion for that. If you don't have a passion, that kind of passion, don't do it. It's going to get your nerves. Because doing weddings, the wedding industry is extremely tough. It looks good on Instagram, but for it to look good on Instagram, it needs a lot of work, a lot of consideration. There's a lot of people getting married that's only getting married for the first time, so they don't know what they're doing, and they're gonna come to you. Sometimes a lot of my brides come to me for help, and look, I'm gonna give them that help, even if it's eight in the night. I used to stay up with my brides, until my friends were like, "Babe, you need to cut that out because I won't get enough sleep." Do you know what I mean? But like, have a passion for it. Don't do it if you don't have a passion for it. And if 1 year you start off and you have 2 brides for that whole year, congratulate yourself for having 2 brides. In 2019, I only had 3 brides.
That was your first year you had 3 brides, yeah?
Yeah. 2018, I had 1 bride. 2019, I only had 3 brides.
Yeah. 2020 was COVID, no?
Yeah.
2020 was COVID, but I still had more brides because they were doing the intimate weddings.
Oh, right.
I still had more. Okay. 2021, I had more. And this year I've had the most. So
you lost count this year, innit?
Someone told me to count it.
You don't count it?
Nah, but I know the number now.
Okay.
I know the number now. So, but honestly, like, it's the passion that keeps you going. Do you know what I mean?
I hear that.
you get exhausted, tired, frustrated, maybe a bit snappy sometimes. I'll be real, but it's a passion that keeps you going.
100%.
I hear that. Yeah, quick one. What do you give to advice to photographers?
I think firstly, sort of like establish if weddings are the area that you want to go into. Because as Deji said, it's like you really need to love like weddings. You need to love providing people with their memories that they'll keep for a lifetime. You need to have an internal philosophy of why you do this particular thing. Otherwise, it won't last. You'll get tired, or you'll just do it for the money, and it will show in your work. It will show in the way you even conduct yourself with clients, in the way you conduct yourself at weddings as well. It will all show. It will be very revealing if you just do it for the money, or you get tired of doing it. That's even reason. Like when you're starting out, obviously, just like find your feet, do friends' weddings, family weddings, find your feet and establish whether you love it. But what I would say is that once you get to a certain point and you've developed your skill set, developed your equipment, developed yourself in terms of your philosophy, your infrastructure for your business, it's very important to make time for weddings that you want to do. Because if we're being real, there's definitely weddings that it's like, they've booked me, but in a way you're not really looking forward to that wedding. Maybe it's because of the style of wedding, it's not particularly your style, things like that. However, make time for weddings that are like, I'm really looking forward to this, because that will really ignite your passion. If you're continuously just doing weddings because they're just booking you, and it's like, it's not really the weddings that you want to do, that's when you can get tired very quickly.
Yeah, man, dope. So where can the people find you on socials?
On Instagram, my name is Deji Rachel _ DEJIRACHEL _.
You can find me on Zeal Photography UK, which is ZEAL Photography UK.
Dope.
On Instagram.
Perfect. Yeah, man. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully you guys got some insight into that, and that helps you plan your wedding. But yeah, man, as I always say, you can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. And yeah, man, stick around. We're gonna have some more coming your way.